Welcome to Week 5 Panic Room. You're in the Panic Room with me, Corey. We got Kyle's on that side and Tony down there. Welcome in. What an interesting week. What's up, Albert? How's it going? We got people joining in over here on Instagram too. Tony, how was your fantasy football weekend?
It was a crappy weekend for me.
What a wild week.
I mean, I was one of the guys who picked up Bridgewater and started Bridgewater this weekend. I did that in a couple of
I started Goff, so I feel you.
Love the matchup, and Bridgewater gets knocked out the first play of the first drive. So
yeah,
that pretty much summed up my fantasy weekend.
That sounds about right.
Rolled out Dalton Schultz at tight end. He's out. Yeah.
Did you start Nyheim Hines too? Because
I started Nyheim Hines. Yes.
Yeah.
That's me. I was that guy this weekend.
Yeah. I started T. Higgins. Yeah. It was. I was playing against everybody that went completely crazy though. It was kind of wild.
Yeah, Al, you really did. You played against one team that just went off against you.
Yeah, I this one guy I played had Lenny, who doubled his previous high of the season this week. Kelsey had 3 touchdowns tonight. There was somebody else that went. I'm just like, what in the actual hell is going on? And yeah, it was rough. But I also had a hard time. We'll have plenty of time for questions tonight, I think, because I had kind of a difficult time putting together a very extensive list of people to panic on, because there were quite a few bounce backs this week, kind of a lot of one-offs, a lot of injuries that caused people to be out that you can't really panic on an injury necessarily. So it's not a super extensive list tonight, but there's some interesting names on there to talk about.
Kyle, I got to highlight this team you played against. Now, just for context, this is a guy who came on our Sunday show and asked a question but said Kyle can't answer because Kyle was playing against him. So the guy had Kamara with 23.4, Fournette with 35.9, Devontae Adams with 27.4, Mike Williams with 23.4, Kelsey with 33.5, and Justin Tucker with 16 points.
That's the one I started Goff in too. So
Goff and J.K. Dobbins.
And Dobbins, yeah.
It was
not a good week.
That was good. I had to give a little context to that because you just got your ass into you in there because that's wild. That is wild. All righty. So with that being said, y'all want to get into some boom and bust? Well, let's see. Let's get through some of these chats really quick. We got Harry in here too. Your boy is now 4-1. Loving that. Congratulations. I'm in of my 8 leagues, I'm only 4-1 in 3 of them, but they're my 3 most important leagues. I had a Monday night miracle. I came back and won I won by 3 points on Travis Kelce's 4 touchdowns. I was way down. I lost 2 or 3 players in that game. And so, I had a good comeback there. Mr. Sarcastic does not look happy. He must have lost to Kelsey or something tonight, so that's tough.
A lot of people lost to Kelsey tonight.
Yes. So it looks like Val's won. Yeah, got Darren Waller got hurt and Carlson got 16. All right. Carlson is going off this year, man. That is fantastic for Carlson. Let's see. Harry Wolf. Let's see his team. Eckler, Aaron Jones, Mike Williams, Davis, Mark Andrews, Miles Pickens, Judy. I don't hate that. Got offered Mark Andrews for Mixon and Michael Thomas. Nah, bro. I'm not giving up Mark Andrews. Who's your other? You don't even have another tight end on your roster. You didn't list one. So I'm not giving up that tight end.
Yeah, I'd rather have Andrews. I can't tell the way he said this. He got offered Mark and he's given up Mixon and Thomas. Like
no, because this is his roster, so he has Mark Andrews.
Oh yeah, I'd hang on to Mark.
This is a good one. Oh yeah, or Mark Andrews for Goddard and Godwin. No way you're doing that. Okay, these terrible.
I don't hate that deal.
You don't. I don't
With
know,
his
man.
roster, I don't think he really needs. Go back to his roster again.
His number 2 running back is Aaron Jones, and he's kind of he doesn't really have much going on at the receiver position, so he could use a receiver.
I just think that elite tight end is more valuable on that team.
Goddard's a top 3 tight end right now in fantasy. So he's not. It's not like he's giving Andrews and he's downgrading.
The one with
the
one with Goddard makes more sense.
Yes, I'm going for the Mixon Michael Thomas one.
Why would you want Michael Thomas?
No, that's what we said. We don't.
That's what we said. Don't go for Mixon and Michael Thomas. Don't do that one.
Yeah, no, I was commenting on the Goddard Godwin.
Yeah, I know. We were just saying we don't.
But I understand it. It's good value. It's fair. But I would rather have Mark Andrews, personally.
Yeah, but who would you rather have in your starting lineup? Because you've got Andrews, and then your receivers are kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Judy is good. He's got Gabe Davis and Mike Williams. I mean, I don't know that I like Godwin enough over those guys to trade away. But Goddard is doing really well, though. So
he's getting Goddard back. So I don't hate that trade. I don't hate that offer. I would try and shop. If you're going to trade Andrews, I'd try and shop him and see what you could really get for him. But I don't hate that trade.
Yeah, it's not horrible. Go Goddard and Mixon instead. Yeah, these terrible roughing the passer calls, they are just ridiculous. You want to talk about a Tom Brady out? Stafford got an insane roughing the passer call yesterday, and I feel
like the Brady roughing the passer was Tuck Rule 2.0.
Oh, it was the worst. that had to be the worst of them. It's just ridiculous, man. And you should be able to go back. And honestly, that one was so egregious that Todd Bowles should have declined the penalty. That's how egregious the penalty was. And yet they wanted to still be super proud about pulling that off. I don't know, man. I just think there's some sort of respect to the game when a referee misses a call that bad that the team should do something and just decline the penalty. I mean, you want to talk about no sportsmanship. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'm stupid and crazy for thinking that. But
quick suggestion: can we maybe flip me and Tony so that his face isn't covered the whole time?
Yeah, that's way better for the viewers. That's way better to cover your face. You're right.
Cover mine, but I sit up a little higher on my camera too. So
yeah. Okay. Gosh, we're gonna get to our board at some point, I swear.
Got to see that handsome professor face,
There you go, the professor. Hey, I did a trade where I gave up Cup and who? Disfit. I don't know who Disfit is.
Yeah, I don't know who that's supposed to be.
To get Devontae, JT, and Kamara. My running backs are dog shite. It's Naji, JK, AJ Dillon. My wide receivers were Cup, Chase, and Evans. Even my tight end is shite. I mean, yeah. I don't know who DS Fit is.
I don't either. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like a word puzzle, but I have no idea.
I know. I'm trying to find it even in the chat. There was no correction that I could.
Just a misspell.
Oh, Swift. He said DeAndre Swift at the bottom.
Oh, got it. He gave up Cup and Swift and got Devontae, JT, and Kamara.
Actually, he said Swifit, SW fit when he typed it below. So
okay. So I don't hate that though. I mean, it's already done too, but Devontae is not a huge downgrade from Cup. But I think you got a 2-for-1. You got JT and Kamara there for Swift with Naji sucking and J.K. Dobbins. Who knows with him right now? So I don't hate it.
Seems good to me.
Yep. Okay, but he got absolutely steamrolled this week. Lost 95-178. Yeah, you probably played one of those.
It happens.
Yeah. It's 4-0 until yesterday. I got steamrolled. I was undefeated last week, the only one in my league, and someone steamrolled me. Just had the lucky lineup. I mean, you just never know. All righty. Should we get into some of these PaNiCs? How about that?
Speaking of lucky lineup, I finished top 3 in the money in DFS this week. Yeah, it's the only thing I did any good in.
Nice.
Gosh.
Got to brag about that one. It's the only thing I won, frick.
Let's get into a little bit of this, and then we'll come back to that. Okay, let's see if I can readjust this. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I know we just kind of mentioned Naji Harris. Let's talk about Naji Harris. What do we think on Naji Harris, Tony?
I've been panicked on Naji since week 1.
Yeah.
It went from panic to DEFCON 9, like freaking. If you can get anything for him, move him.
Get rid of Naji Harris. Your team need a new washing machine? Get rid of Naji Harris.
Yeah. From the top rope, elbow drop, the panic button.
It's just hard at this point because he's rock bottom. You're not going to get any type of value for Naji. If you get value for Naji, then that's different. But you're not going to get RB1 value for him. You probably won't even get RB2 value for him.
Yeah. Val says, my first round pick, everyone says trading, but what for Jared McKinnon?
Yeah, Val, we were talking about he was Wall Street early in the season as a sell. The injury to the foot, then he had injury to the second foot. Offensive line is a liability. Now, with the change at the quarterback position, this offense is going to struggle all season long.
Yep. And that's Jared McKinnon's brother, I'm guessing.
You might be able to get Antonio Gibson for him. I don't know.
But do you want Antonio Gibson? I mean,
That's
I guess at least he gets some return yards.
That was kind of my whole point.
I know.
You just got to cross your fingers at this point and hope that they can turn it around. That part of the problem with Naji too is his efficiency is just going back to 2021. It's not good.
No,
his efficiency is in the toilet.
Very much.
Yeah, he's volume or bust.
Yeah.
I know this year he's volume and bust. So
well, when I say inefficient, I mean he gets the volume, but he doesn't do much with his touches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Gotcha. So let's talk about AJ Dillon because we had him on our roster. We panicked on AJ Dillon.
I own Dillon in a lot of leagues, and I gotta be honest, I'm starting to freak out.
Yeah, you've been touting him for quite some time.
He's had a few good matchups where he's just not doing anything with these touches.
Yep. Yeah, I know you've been really high on AJ Dillon this year, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Tony, what are you thinking?
Dwindle fast.
Yeah.
I'm not panicked on him. I think we've just got to be patient with Dillon. He definitely is not getting the utilization the way we expected, but it's only week 5, and I would be surprised if we didn't see the running back utilization begin to shift more in his favor as the season progresses, especially when we get into the colder months. So you can't really. I don't know what you can do with Dillon. You can't really trade him. He doesn't have much trade value. I think he has high upside, especially if anything happens to Aaron Jones. He's a lottery ticket. So I think we have to maybe lower our expectations, not necessarily panic. I haven't really had him in the starting lineup yet this season.
I have a few times. You know how I go 0 RB a lot.
I do have stock in him, but he's a stash for me right now.
Yeah, I got him in like half of my leagues where I went receiver, tight end, heavy, and then he's like my RB2. I'm just like,
I don't think you didn't expect him to come out at the gates and be an RB2. He's kind of more like a season-long play.
I had hoped. I had very high hopes.
Yeah.
Maybe unrealistic expectations, admittedly.
Yeah, I hear you.
Let's do a wide receiver really fast. What are we thinking on Michael Pittman?
I'm not panicking on him. I put him on my list because I figured he's not been doing like high-end wide receiver 1 type numbers we expected after week 1. He's had a few down games here coming back from that injury and what have you. But, I mean, And now you're starting to see Alec Pierce is getting more involved, but I don't want people to freak out. Like, he's going to get his, and they'll have better matchups than Denver. So I own a lot of him too, and I'm not panicking on him.
The talent's there. It's just, can his quarterback get him the ball is my question. Tony, what do you think?
I'm not panicked on Michael Pittman, largely due to the utilization. Even Alec Pierce, who Kyle just threw out there, he was only 40% route participation weeks 3 and weeks 4. I don't know what it was for week 5. Pittman is always somewhere between 95 to 100 routes participated. He's typically is in the 25 to 30% target share. So he's going to be heavily utilized in this offense. If anything, for me, it could be a buy low opportunity if anybody's panicked on Pittman, but I'm not panicked on him at all.
Yeah, because like for me, as people start to respect Alec Pierce more, I think it'll only help Pittman.
Well, I think Pittman is suffering from what we could call poor quarterback play. We see other receivers suffering from the same thing. Kind of what you were saying, Kyle, can the quarterback get him the ball? But Alec Pierce definitely had a pretty big game this week. I would also kind of let's look and see what happens with JT, because that running game will kind of keeps that defense honest. It's easy for a team to kind of bookend Michael Pittman and double team him if they've got Deion Jackson running the football.
Or Liam Hines for 3 plays.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, your offense is made and constructed in a certain way to run a certain way, and when you lose 1 to 3 pieces, like, it doesn't function the same way. So once you start getting these pieces back, it'd be really nice to see how that works.
Not even that, but not even just 1 to 3 pieces. The one piece who could be arguably the best piece in the league, is Jonathan Taylor. So, but yeah, I think he's a pardon.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And he didn't have a horrible game. He still had 5 catches for 59 yards. He was on 8 targets. So
yeah, it's
good
target share.
Was that?
I said it was a good amount of targets. I liked it.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's do a fun one really quick. Let's do a tight end. How about Tyler Conklin now with his new QB? What a fun week. Tony, what do you think about Conklin?
Well, I was talking about this with Conklin because he was pretty much a volume monster with Flacco, and I was kind of warning people about Conklin when Zach Wilson came back, not really knowing where he was going to be in the pecking order. And we saw that first week Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. This last week, I don't think Conklin had a catch. So, he's a guy that benefited from Flacco. He is a guy they really like in this coaching staff, so we could see him maybe begin to kind of reemerge a little bit. But I'm going to give him a pardon for now. But I need to kind of see things settle in with Zach Wilson and see if they're going to gameplay for Conklin where they're getting him more involved in this offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we can kind of, segue this into those receivers I put over there too. I don't want to panic on any of these guys right now because Zach Wilson just got back. Like Tony said, he's kind of settling into the offense. We'll see what happens, how it settles out. Right now, while he's getting acclimated, they seem to be really leaning on Breece Hall too. So I think you'll see it even out more. I think you'll see, I don't know which one, but one of these guys will emerge, maybe all of them if they really up the volume on the passing game. But I wouldn't freak out yet. Just be patient and see how it kind of shakes out.
A lot of this was just kind of game script. Miami jumped out to a very large lead. They wound up winning the game 40-17. Zach Wilson only threw 21 passes. He had 14 completions. And he spread the ball around. I mean, we had 4 receivers with 2 catches and Garrett Wilson with 3. So most games are not going to work out this way with the Jets where they've got a 2-3 touchdown lead on teams.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, even Michael Carter had a lot of touches and stuff. Yeah, that was just
Carter had 10 carries. and 2 receptions. He had the 2 touchdowns on the 2 carries.
Yeah. So what an interesting game. And then Breece Hall still went off. It was just that offense, guys, so young and going to be dangerous. That team could be really dangerous in the future. They've stocked up pretty good.
If Zach Wilson develops
the
way they hope, like they could start giving the Bills a run for their money in that division here in the next couple of years. It'll take a couple of years, but
it'll be interesting. All right, let's get back over here. Let's hide this for a second. Get back over here to some more chat because it is still going. Here we go.
I went ready for your face to be so large where I could see it, Corey. Took me aback for a moment.
Sorry, you have to see it so closely. It's painful for all of us, honestly. I could pick up like Hurst or wait, did I? Yeah, let's see. Or maybe get Taysom Hill if I'm higher on waivers.
Was that a follow-up to something or just
talking about the tight end trade with Andrews?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a backup right now.
Correct. I can get Schultz in return in the Mixon Michael Thomas trade. Not looking good there either.
No. If you don't get Goddard back, don't trade it. Don't trade him.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. This one. Do I clip Julio Jones for Kenneth Walker?
1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and do I clip Khalil Herbert for Duvernay?
I would not do that.
I don't know.
I don't think Duvernay's a bad pickup. I just don't think I'd let Herbert go yet for him.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that either.
Wasn't a good week for Herbert with Monty coming back, but
wide receivers
that'll always be the case either.
Wide receivers, you can just find players kind of like Duvernay, Julio Jones. You can just find them on waivers, to me, pretty easily. I mean,
Duvernay is not anything special in this offense.
Yeah.
His snap share has been consistently under 70%. His routes run, so that's a. I mean, he's a third option on that offense. You know, you've got Andrews and Bateman and Duvernay. Is Bateman banged up? What happened with Bateman?
He was hurt and he missed this game, so that's the only reason Duvernay did good this week. Honestly, is because Bateman was out. I don't even remember what the injury was off the top of my head now.
He had great. That's a cool ankle injury. Yeah. So we'll see. He'll be back soon enough to where Duvernay is not valuable enough to drop Herbert for. Running backs are harder to come by than wide receivers, no doubt. Let's see. I can't remember what this is a follow-up to.
It might be a lead into.
Well, that's what I'm looking for, and I'm not seeing it. If it is, it's way down. It took way too long if that's the case. If I trade Monty and A.J. Brown for Diggs, do I win? That's what this one is. Okay, if I trade Monty and A.J. Brown for Diggs, do I win?
Monty's your running back, too. That's not winning.
Kenneth Walker might be his running back, too, now.
Right.
Well, he might be, yeah, but I don't. I don't think that receiver upgrade's significant enough to damage your running back depth like that.
No, you'd want something back, and I don't know if you're going to get enough back off of that to be secure. But Kupp, A.J. Brown, and Godwin, Bateman, I mean, my goodness. You need to take 2 of those wide receivers and pair them up if you want to upgrade. Get rid of some of that depth, because I couldn't imagine trying to pick, like, sometimes between Bateman, Godwin, and London. Who am I going to start between those 3 in my flex?
Yeah, you don't need Diggs. Just stick with Monty and Brown.
Or trade Godwin and London and go get Diggs. I know that's not going to be able to pull that off, but still. What are you thinking, Tony?
Diggs is nice.
Diggs is nice, but so is A.J. Brown.
But I mean,
I think, I'm looking at his lineup, and it'd be nice to know. We always talk about roster construction. It just would be nice to know if you're playing 2 running backs. I'm assuming it's 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. And so I'm looking at your starting lineup with the flex. And it's really nice to have the depth that you have with Kupp, Brown, and Godwin is. I'm telling you, Godwin is a wide receiver one, and this guy's getting healthy. Brady is locked in on Godwin. So, and you have London. I mean, you've got quite a lineup there that you can kind of protect yourself insurance wise on the season. I don't know that I would necessarily move Brown and Monty. My only concern is just with Monty because the coaching staff seems to really like Khalil Herbert. Monty came back, had a nice game. He did get 16 touches. So I agree with Kyle that, losing Monty to me, I think could be your RB3 with Kenneth with Walker.
Yep.
But I don't know that I would do that even for Diggs. I'm curious who your tight end is too. Because if you're looking to make a move, I wonder, maybe you could do something at tight end.
I was gonna say, if you're looking to make a move,
he just put at the bottom 2 RB, 3 wide receiver flex. So
that's even
that depth
you
is amazing in a 3 receiver.
I wouldn't do that then, because now you got because that really is going to hurt you if any one of these guys gets hurt or with the bye weeks coming up. Because right now you got Kupp, Brown, London, Godwin. There's your 3 receivers in a flex, and then you have Saquon and Ken Walker or Saquon and Monty. I mean, you're in a good spot.
Yeah. He said his tight ends were Schultz and Conklin. Schultz will be back, and I think Conklin will too. But Schultz will be back.
Who's his QB?
He hasn't said yet. He says he's 1-4, so felt like he needed to make a move. Just be patient with those. Godwin's been hurt. Ken Walker was nothing. Monty was hurt. Yeah. He's got Dak and Geno are his QBs.
So you went.
That's where you should be. That's where you could be looking.
Yeah, that Dak injury really hurts you at QB and tight end, but they'll be back.
Get Dak and Schultz back together, and you could have something there. All right, here's one. Mark Andrews and Miles Sanders for Schultz, Mixon, and Lockett.
Don't trade for Schultz.
And Miles Sanders is doing.
Don't trade Mark Andrews. Stop it.
Yeah. Or instead of Lockett, he could have Cooks.
And honestly, I think Miles Sanders is doing better than Mixon on the season so far. So
Miles Sanders is performing very well.
Stop it.
Fowles wants to know, Gabe Davis did go off, and I started him, but I'm worried because he only got 4 receptions. Do you think that was just luck? It seems to be the way he does things. 4 receptions, 4 touchdowns, like kind of thing. Like, good Lord.
Well, he's not going to be able to maintain that efficiency, but Gabe Davis, he isn't going anywhere on the season. He is probably going to be a boom or bust type receiver for you, though. He's not a volume type guy in this offense.
He's Lockett East.
He's Lockett East, but with a significant upgrade at quarterback.
Yes,
very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, that's tough. It's going to be hard to count on him week in and week out. I feel like didn't they have a couple pieces out this week too? Like, kind of boosted Gabe Davis. He didn't have much.
Crowder and McKenzie were out. Shakir had a good game too. So did Diggs. Like all these receivers. I really hoped with that big lead at halftime, I really hoped Singletary would do me better after halftime, but that didn't come to fruition really.
No,
the way I'd hoped.
Go for it, Tony.
No, I'm thinking Gabe Davis is almost the type of guy that I might sell high on if I could get really, really good value for him.
Yep.
My concern with Gabe Davis is that he just doesn't get the target share in the offense. He's under 10% target share, but he does run close to 100% routes. So he's in on every play. And, I'd have to really get a great offer for Gabe to move him just because his upside is so high in this offense. We just saw it.
Yep. Agree.
I'm sorry. I'm giggling because I see a follow-up to Harry's Mark Andrews trade question at the bottom that I'm just like, stop it. He says, okay, I understand I shouldn't trade Mark Andrews, but I got offered Andrews and Sanders for mixing Njoku and Lockett instead of Schultz. Bro, stop it. Sanders Mixon is a wash this year, and Andrews is too good to trade for that other junk. It's like, stop it. Just because somebody wants Andrews doesn't mean you have to find a way to trade him to him.
Here we are back on Naji here. He's my second round pick. I don't think you're a dumbass for picking him over Cook, Kelsey, Andrews, and Chubb and Barkley. I mean, Naji Harris is a big hype. I mean, he really is, and he's done well in the past. So I don't think you're dumb for it. But yeah, that does suck for sure. But we did kind of see the writing on the wall this year. A little bit. I don't think that makes you a dumbass, but it means you just need to watch us more. That's what it means.
It means you need to watch the Fantasy Football Network all the time.
Welcome to the party.
Naji was a guy who was talking about the end of last year and even in the offseason, because while Cincinnati Bengals were making moves to solidify their offensive line, Pittsburgh Steelers completely neglected theirs, and that was a real liability for them last year. So the talent is there in Naji. The problem is the offense. And I think it's easy to get kind of trapped or kind of hooked in with the volume because he's such a high volume running back.
Yep.
And the talent, we see the talent. We all know the kid's talented, but I'm nervous. I'm even nervous about him in Dynasty.
A little bit. Yeah, because now you're looking a couple years out before he has an offensive line worthwhile.
Right. How long is it going to take to turn that thing around? Yeah.
Yeah, it could take 2 more years of them actually focusing.
We talked about this last year too, with the volume in this offense, where his running style too is a very hard runner, so he gets banged up very easily. It's going to take a toll on him physically, and we're seeing that start to happen now at the feet.
Yeah, very true.
So Sushi chimed in at the bottom here. He's got another player to troll us on. He says, in all caps, Naji is a super buy low, and I think we all strongly disagree with that statement.
Yeah, I'm not buying Naji, but what I was gonna say was find that person who thinks just like Sushi is right now in your league, who thinks this is a buy low opportunity. And
don't give him away though.
No, don't give him away, but don't be afraid to trade him just because he was your second round pick. Because some people cling to those players because they were their first or second round pick. Don't be that guy. Find the Sushi in your league, and go trade him away, and but don't trade him away for nothing.
Dude, go find the Sushi in your league, offer him Naji and Lockett, and get like Diggs or something stupid. Like Sushi would totally do that trade, by the way.
Oh, 100%. This is my 5-0.
I will say this, just with Sushi. If there was a time to trade for Naji, if you want him, this is the time to do it.
Yes.
Coming off of this game against Pittsburgh, where 11 carries, 20 yards, 3 catches, 16. This is the time to trade for Naji if you want to make a move for him. And it wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. I don't think it's a horrible idea. I just don't think we can expect he's not going to be an RB1.
I would agree with that. Just trying to look at his schedule. It's not
if your RB room is decimated with injuries and you need someone to start that might accidentally fall into the end zone from time to time, then yeah, go get Naji. But don't give up a ton to get him.
Let's see. This is my 5-0 10-man PPR. Who even got his IR spot? Lamar, CMC. What are you trying to do? Get a flex?
Should I package to try to get a flex? Looks like you have a flex in Godwin.
Yeah. So you got Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Judy, Godwin. I'm liking those, Godwin especially.
I wouldn't mind using like Mostert, Myers, Judy, Dobbs. Use some of those guys to maybe get another upgraded piece, though.
I mean, this has got to be a 4-man league, right? So there's probably something on waivers that's probably good. I mean,
he says 10-man, but
I don't know about that, man. There's must have been some shady trades going on in here for you to get all those players, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, like 6 first 3-round picks in there, like 5 to 6.
Nick, in this league, since it's a 10-man league, I'm like 99% sure Kenneth Walker is on waivers. Can you confirm that? Where are you at in the waiver order? Or do you do Fab?
Yeah, let us know on that.
Because he's a must-add for your roster. Because that's the only thing you're missing is a third running back.
Yep. Yeah, I would go for running back for sure there. Okay. Hey, I traded away Saquon and Hurts for CMC and Hill. I have Allen as quarterback. Okay. So you could afford to get rid of Hurts. Short on one. How do you feel about? I have Mixon RB2.
Like, I know you have Allen, but I think you could have done better than CMC and Hill for Hurts and Saquon duo.
Yeah, that hurts. Saquon is a valuable duo.
That's feel like you settled a little bit.
But I don't hate it.
I kind of do. So.
I understand it. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I totally disagree. I think he killed it.
I'd rather have Saquon than CMC.
And Hill.
But trading Hurts for Hill would have been fine. But
like Hill with his third stringer.
If all I'm trading is Hurts for Hill, I'm happy. But I don't want CMC instead of Saquon.
Hill is a top 5 receiver. CMC is a top 3 running back.
Hill is for
Saquon's the number 1 running back. Hurts is like the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
But he got tremendous value for that in CMC and Hill. Allen is his 1 QB. He's not playing Hurts. Hurts is sitting on his bench. And so to flip Hurts and Saquon, he's basically trading Saquon for CMC and Hill. And even though Hurts is a great quarterback so far in the season, I don't think quarterback value is where the value of a Tyreek Hill is at. So I personally, I like it. I think he killed it.
I don't know. I think I see what you're saying there, but I almost kind of disagree with, he's not using Hurts, so he could afford it. Like, he still could have gotten a really good return just on Hurts alone.
You're not going to get Tyreek Hill for Hurts.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate it. It's just it's tough not being in your shoes or seeing the rest of your roster either. But Saquon, CMC, and right now it's just Hill has his third stringer in there, so that's what for me is really.
Bridgewater will be back this week. He doesn't have a concussion.
Okay.
He cleared the concussion protocol on Sunday.
Okay.
I just think he could have done better.
I'm just saying with the NFL right now, they can't get their roughing the passer calls down, and now they've really locked down this concussion protocol. So even if he clears, who knows if he'll actually get to play, even though he cleared concussion protocol.
He'll get to play.
I was watching.
I
was watching the Bills game, and I saw this guy like fell and bumped his head, but he like popped right back up, jogged back to the no signs of anything. They literally showed a replay, and the commentators are like, "Oh, check that! Look at that! Do you see that?" And then they went back to the game. It's like they're just gonna show like instant replays of every time someone bumps their head a little bit now. Like, that's awesome.
Yes. Also, do you think CMC will be better without Rule? I think everyone's better without.
I think everybody's gonna be better without Rule.
I do think they're going to have to lean on CMC more now without Baker and with Darnold still injured.
Yes, I agree.
Which also has me injury concerned for CMC.
What's interesting, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's a lot of smoke around CMC going to Buffalo, getting traded to Buffalo. That was earlier.
Could you imagine how untouchable Buffalo would be if they added him at running back?
There's
literally the only piece they're missing on that entire team is a running back.
Google CMC to Buffalo. You'll see there's all sorts of activity on social media about him going there.
That wouldn't be fair.
And the rest of the NFL would be like pushing their panic button.
Seriously, just give them the rings and let's go to the offseason already.
Next season, let's go. Start the draft. Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
That's like Kevin Durant going to Golden State.
But less of a bitch move still.
If they were already sacked. Yeah, that I agree.
Yeah. Are you guys selling high on Mostert?
I would.
Yep. before
Because even if he keeps the
hurts
starting
himself.
job for now, he's still going to get hurt.
Yeah, he ain't going
It's
to
an absolute miracle that he hasn't already, to be
I
honest with
agree.
you. 5 weeks and no injury for Mostert. I am selling as
This
fast
is the
as I
year
can.
this is the year we're calling the injury and he doesn't get injured or something. Like,
Well, and Tony talked about this. I can't remember if it was Wall Street or Boom Bust. I don't remember what show it was last
you
week.
just talk so damn much, am I right?
Literally talked about, well, we just have so many shows that we're
I
on.
know.
together,
I'm
but
kidding.
we talked about Edmonds and the reason why he's a better fit and the reason why he'll, over the course of the season, be the guy in that offense. But for some reason, he's in the doghouse right now. So it's, buy low on Edmonds, sell high on Mostert.
ECH. This happened the same thing the other night. My running backs, Swift, Jones, and CEH. My receiver, Dobbs, Hopkins, Cooper, Hill. Do I waiver Herbert to get Kenneth Walker? Also waiver Julio Jones for Duvernay. Oh, is this the same?
That's the same question as earlier. Don't worry about Duvernay. Get rid of Julio for Walker. Keep Herbert. Don't worry about Duvernay.
Yeah, just because you word it different doesn't make our answer different.
He tried to trick us. He tried to trip us up.
I don't have any problem with that though. If you're looking to upgrade your running back and your receiver.
Earlier he said Julio for Walker and Herbert for Duvernay. We all said no. Don't worry about Duvernay.
Like,
now
what if you look at it from this angle?
The same positions by each other, and now we're like, I don't know.
It does help. It does help seeing his roster though. He
it's like
does,
when you put it that way.
Doesn't need help at the receiver.
You guys in my league ain't trading Cam Akers for Naji. Well, man.
You don't want Cam Akers anyways. I'd rather have Naji than Cam Akers if I'm picking one between the two.
But gosh, people aren't trading away Cam Akers to get Naji Harris. I would at least do that. For sure. There's no chance Naji comes back and averages 20 for the second half.
Not likely.
I mean,
not unless they trade for a bunch of offensive linemen really fast.
His schedule after the bye is New Orleans, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Atlanta, Baltimore, Carolina, Las Vegas, Baltimore, Cleveland.
It's not a terrible schedule, but
that offense is terrible. That's
the offensive line is just so bad. Like,
I think the only way Naji has a chance to come back and average 20 the second half of the season is if Kenny Pickett is the second coming of Dan Marino. If that happens, and these teams have to change their defensive scheme because Kenny Pickett is like he's got a hose. And Deontay Johnson and Pickens and Claypool are lighting it up. Things open up for Naji Harris, but I don't think that's likely.
I don't see that happening though.
Pickett top 5.
And I specifically say Marino because they're both from Pitt.
Right. He says, don't see it, but you never know. I think I'll just hold Naji for now. I
would hold him. I would. I'm not going to. Don't wait for him to have a nice game and sell him high. You can do that.
At least let him have a double-digit game again and sell him. This is definitely the worst time to sell him right now.
But here's his schedule for the next 3 weeks: Tampa Bay, Miami, Philadelphia, and then his bye week. So when are you selling him?
Sell him after Miami.
Sell him after his bye week. It's probably the best week he'll have in the next 4. So,
look, there are going to be some guys right now who are nervous, and so if somebody was starting Penny every week and he just lost Penny on the season, you got guys like that who are looking for running back help. So,
yep, people are panicking. Don't give him away. Just sell him for a good price. Walker and Deontay for Tyreek.
If you're getting Tyreek, yeah.
What does the rest of your lineup look like?
That's what I want to know. It's like, what's the rest of your roster? Because if you're giving up Kenneth Walker in that deal, you better have enough depth at running back.
I don't think anybody drafted Ken Walker to be any more than just a bench stash, though, right?
Well, it depends if he went 0 RB, and that's what he was hoping for. I don't know. because everyone knew Rashad Penny would get hurt, right? Like we all called that. He's Raheem Mostert 2.0. So
He actually lasted longer than I thought he would.
Same.
Kenneth Walker is about to get RB1 volume in this offense.
In an offense that's actually working.
Right. It's hard at this point in the season to find a guy on waivers who can be an RB1 in your roster. So,
Yep, that's tough.
I get it. But I'd like to see the rest of your lineup before I comment on whether or not to do that.
Same. Bro, who's the higher waiver priority? Kenneth Walker or Taysom?
Walker.
You know that one.
Walker.
Everyone knows that, man.
100% Walker.
Taysom Hill's he had a good game, but we saw that week 1. Everyone picked him up.
I went and picked him up, held him for 2 weeks, and then dropped him again. That was Taysom Hill. Now everybody will go pick him up again. They'll keep him for 2 weeks and drop him again.
Yeah, he's Tyler Lockett of this season for sure.
When we post these questions, I like to know whether or not they're using Fab or waiver wire claims.
Yeah, guys, get more specific. Just type out all the details.
We need more info.
Give us the deets and give it to us all in one message, not spread out amongst 3 because they can get lost and mixed up and it's hard. Dark Wolf, what's up, man? Thank you for help last week. Another W. Love to hear that. Love the W's. Wish I could get some of my own teams, but hey, I'm glad you guys are getting help.
I can help other people win, but I can't win. What the hell?
Right. It's not completely true, but it's funny. Anyways, Walker and Deion. Oh, okay. So he has
said an RB without Walker, then yeah,
yeah.
Get you some Tyreek.
Yeah, sounds fine because I don't trust Deontay. Just got offered Diggs, Fournette, and Breece Hall for Justin Jefferson.
Do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do it.
Take Diggs, Fournette, and Breece Hall for Justin Jefferson.
Albert, what do you, like?
That guy wants Jefferson bad.
Oh my god!
Run, don't walk, and
That's a league value. Who are your running backs?
It don't even freaking matter.
I'd like to know.
Diggs and Jefferson are so close. Fournette and Breece.
What if his running backs are Cook and Eckler?
Then you trade them. You just gained all this trade power, and you're upgrading everything else on your team.
Yeah, flip anything you don't need out of that.
Yeah, I guess I can't really envision a scenario where you don't accept that offer.
Go get your tight end, QB, any weak spots with what's left over.
It's just so unbelievable that Tony can't believe this is like an actual scenario. He's like, there's got
to be something.
Tony's over here going through the motions of like a normal trade offer.
Yeah, this is the Christian payday.
This is one you take no matter what.
This is setting the value for wide receiver trades here. This is not.
You're resetting the market.
Almost like the guy has a crystal ball and can see that Diggs, Fournette, and Breece Hall are going to all get injured in week 6. So
right.
Dude, I swear to God, Albert, you let us know this guy's name if that happens. If those 3 get hurt this week,
yeah,
we're gonna find that guy.
I trade Naji Conklin for Dylan and Higbee.
Oh, I don't know why I would do that.
Oh yeah, Dylan's not doing anything either. So,
is it weird that right now your best player in that trade is Higbee?
It is very weird, but it's true.
Jeez. This is crap. I'm flipping the table.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that one.
Who's his tight end? Who's Wells' tight end?
Conklin. That he's trading for Higbee.
Doesn't he also have Schultz? Is that what he's saying? He has Schultz.
Yeah, he has Schultz and Conklin.
Oh,
I would probably consider doing that.
I mean, Dylan's long-term value is probably higher than Najee's to you. Is that what you're thinking, Tony? Like his season-long value is probably higher than Najee?
I think it has more to do with your point that Higbee's the best player in the trade and he needs a freaking tight end. When you look at it that way, I didn't really think of that, but when you look at it that way, it kind of does make sense.
It's so sad, man.
It is.
I've got to change the question before I start crying. All right. PaNiC on J-Rob.
No shot.
Tony.
No.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but man, it sucked starting J-Rob in this matchup and just seeing Etienne get all this work really hurt.
What I hated was this is a pro and a con. So the downside was I started him in my DFS lineup. The upside was everybody that played DFS this weekend had him in their lineup.
Yeah.
So evensies.
Yeah, it almost lost me a matchup to someone I should have just annihilated, though. So that was really bad. But no, don't panic on J-Rob.
Yeah, don't freak out.
So how much should I be worried on Jalen Waddle? I like him a lot. Toughed out Tua.
He'll be fine with Bridgewater if Bridgewater stays healthy. If he'll play a whole game.
And Tua will be back hopefully later in the season when in these games that really matter too. Yeah. So that's tough, man.
I wouldn't be concerned about Waddle.
I'm buying Jalen Waddle wherever I can get him.
Because
buy low on Jalen Waddle. Do not panic on him.
Yep.
Speaking of panic, we got a whole bunch of guys we haven't gotten to yet.
I know. If you would let me, this next one goes right into taking us back to the board. Man, I had it all set up and everything. So, Jared Goff panic? Well, he's on our board. So let's talk about Jared Goff really quick. Are we panicked on Jared Goff?
It's funny because I put him on the board because I thought it'd be a good discussion about, like, listen, he's been a top 10 guy. He had one down game. Was it all a mirage? And I don't think it was. I'm not panicking on Jared Goff. He had one bad game.
Who has?
Yeah, everybody's had one bad game. Like, I'm not panicking. I'm pardoning him for now for sure.
Tony, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, his offense is all banged up. I mean, Swift is out. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, only played 20 snaps. Josh Reynolds was banged up. I think once we get through this bye week, we'll be okay on the other side of it for the Detroit offense.
Detroit needs this bye more than any other team in the league right now, I think.
They need it pretty bad. I don't know. I think the Broncos could use a bye right now. Actually, no, I take that back. We could take a bye from the Broncos right now. How about that? Is that more fair?
Just a break from having to watch them play.
I could take a break from watching the Broncos play at the moment. Also, Chase Edmonds was on our list. I know we talked about him with that Mostert trade or value earlier and stuff. We're putting him in the part in for now as well, too, right?
Yeah.
I like Edmonds. He's more of a long-term stash, I think. He's kind of like the A.J. Dillon. I just cannot, for the life of me, figure out what is going on in that Miami offense. I followed them all off season, and maybe Ocean State has more insight, but Chase Edmonds was one of the darlings of training camp, and they gave him a monster contract with a lot of talk about how Chase fit perfectly into that McDaniels offensive scheme and what they wanted to do this year. So I really don't know what's going on if he's in the doghouse, but I got to believe that he's better than Mostert and that we're going to see him kind of emerge at some point in the season. So I'm going to stash him.
I saw a blurb that kind of described it perfectly earlier today that said, basically, because of where Coach McDaniel comes from, he is showing signs of Shanahan in his randomness in his use of running backs. That's
he was down here talking about Chase Edmonds and some of the, because I live in Florida, I'm in South Florida, and so he was down here a lot of local programming talking about some specific players. Tyreek Hill and Chase Edmonds was one of them. So I was really surprised to see him not getting that utilization here early in the season. I'm wondering if he's got some type of a nagging injury, and I don't really know. I'm just purely speculating. But he had tremendous burst in training camp. A lot of the kind of local reporters were talking about that, how he looked like a different type of guy on the field on that offense. So they gave him $12 million for 2 years. Just everything kind of falls in line with him to be the guy in that running back room, and it just hasn't worked out that way yet. So not quite ready to give up on him.
Cool. Panic on Kittle or London?
We had Kittle on the panic list last week. So yeah, panic on Kittle. Not so much on London. I'm not freaking. I'm fine with London still.
Tony, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm not a big Kittle guy. I think Kittle is not number one on the pecking order here. Shanahan wants to run the football. Debo should be the guy. I think Debo should be on the list. Is Dory panicked about Debo? So I'm Kittle for me is I don't view him any longer as a top 5 tight end. It used to be, it was Kelsey, Kittle, and Waller. Now that order's has been shifted. And as far as London is concerned, he's just gotten too much volume in this offense to be panicked on him.
Yeah, I'm not freaking out on London at all. I mean, that was a tough matchup. We all kind of knew it, and it sucks because I put him in my lineups because other players were out. Pitts was out and everything, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a good week. That offense had a bad week, man. It was really ugly. So you gamble and you lose.
But you're panicking on Debo?
Me?
Did I hear that right? Or did you just say he should be on the list?
I would know what I was saying is that he's a guy that for me is kind of more deserving of being on the list. I'm not panicked on Debo, but he did not have a Debo game. He had 2 catches for 20 yards and a touchdown. So, and 2 carries for 12. He had 4 touches on the game.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm saying that's a guy I think that could have been on the list for us to talk about, but I'm not panicked on Debo.
Yeah.
If he didn't get that touchdown in his fantasy game, he puts up 3 points.
Yeah, but it would be his first single-digit fantasy game, which we can't say for most, if any, other fantasy players.
Oh, so that's a low floor. That's a low floor for now. He did get the touchdown, so it saved his day. But anyway, my comment was just to say that on that San Francisco offense, the guy who should also be on the list is Debo Samuel after the game that he had put up a big clunker. But I'm not panicked on him. If anything, you're buying him. He'll be on my buy low list this week.
Yep. I'm just saying that Justin Jefferson has a floor of 4.4 so far this year. So it's hard to look at one game and just say that's their floor.
That's what we do.
It's against
the panic room.
We're panicked. Okay, I got one more.
We are panicked. We're just talking about guys.
I know. I'm kidding. In Dynasty, would you drop Marquise Brown knowing Hopkins is coming back soon and pick up Tyler Lockett on waivers? There's no trading in this league.
No, absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Too old. But he's going to be producing, though. So this is a short-term play in a Dynasty.
That's a terrible idea.
Tony, do you feel as strongly about this as Kyle does?
Probably not to the extent that Kyle does, but I don't think you can move off of Marquise Brown with Kyler Murray, even with Hopkins coming back, and it's Dynasty, so it's a long-term play. Even whether it's season long or Dynasty, I think Marquise Brown is a guy I prefer to have.
It's a bad move in redraft. It's unthinkable in Dynasty. All right, come on.
Kyle, follow Kyle for more fantasy football tips. Okay. And Bateman has a midfoot sprain. That's what his injury is, by the way. Okay. So, what's up, man? Thanks for coming over from IG. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I answered a question for him, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, welcome.
I recognize that name.
I do too, actually. Welcome to the party. What's up, boys? Should I trade away Saquon or CMC for Kelsey? I have Pierce, Walker, and Wilson Jr. on my bench. Current tight end is Pitts. Oh, that's the Pitts. So let's say he trades CMC for Kelsey. That would give him Saquon, Pierce, and Walker because Wilson's not going to be that valuable soon.
I would do CMC. I'm in a love affair with Saquon this year. I think Saquon, Pierce, and Walker is sufficient. You could trade CMC for Kelsey, but I mean,
Tony, tell me what your grin means.
Yeah, I think if you can, I like Saquon too, but I'm really interested. Did you lose me?
no, I was saying somebody's stuff is going haywire.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm really interested to see what CMC does now with Baker out and without Darnold, because I think we're going to see this offense really shift and emphasize more CMC. So I almost see him maybe begin to surpass Saquon in fantasy. And Saquon, to me, it could be a little bit of a sell high. I'd love to have Kelsey. If you get Kelsey on your roster, so I would probably do either one. I would just see if you can get more than Kelsey. I wonder if you can get him to add anything to Kelsey for one of those running backs. But flip a coin. I mean, they're basically 1A and 1B. I don't know. Kyle is big on Saquon. We all like Saquon, but I like CMC just as much.
Do you think that usage of CMC enhancing, like, do you think that enhances his opportunity at injury?
They both have injury risk. They probably carry equal injury risk. So I don't know that I can make an argument for CMC or Saquon.
He came back at the bottom, says he also has Aaron Jones. He didn't put him on the list. So, yeah, trade one of them for Kelsey for sure.
Aaron Jones and Pitts for Kelsey.
I would prefer, obviously, that you don't move one of those for Kelsey. And because you're so deep at the running back position, maybe give two of those running backs away for Kelsey. Doing Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is, to me, next big game he has, he's a sell high candidate. But if you can give Jones and Pierce or even Jones and Walker and keep Saquon and CMC, I mean, that would be the direction I prefer. But Kelsey has so much value. I think if you look at trade charts and you look at trade value charts, Saquon and Kelsey are probably both going to have more trade value than Kelsey. But I just don't agree with those charts. I think on those trade charts, you've got to take Kelsey and multiply him almost by 2. To get his real fair value in fantasy, because there's such an advantage at that tight end position with a guy like Kelsey. His ceiling is so high. We saw tonight, what he did.
So JJ numbers in a tight end spot. Like
you're gonna be paying a premium for him at this point because of the game he just had.
Yeah. Let me see. Should I sell high on Dalvin Cook? He only had a 57% snap share. If so, for who?
What do you need?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Yeah, it's hard to say. But are you still selling high on Dalvin Cook? 57% snap share.
But some of that could have been game script. You want to kind of look over the course of the season, look over the past, look over the past 5 weeks and see what his snap share has been, because his snap share typically is in the low to mid 60s. So it's really not that far off his normal snap share. Doesn't mean that if you can't sell high on him, I when you say sell high, it almost makes me think that you believe his value is not going to remain where it's at. And I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be trying to sell high before a plummet or anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't be actively trying to trade him away, no.
I'm looking at his last little bit. Starting in week 13, he's got the Jets, Detroit, Colts, the Giants, and the Packers, and then Chicago. He's got a pretty decent schedule. Don't know that I'd be trading that away either. Let's see. I've been holding on to Kamara. He finally showed up. Feels great.
Finally.
Yes. Finally.
Finally.
Kamara has returned to New Orleans.
Exactly.
He also got offered CD and Gibson for Pierce and Godwin.
I'm not trading for Gibson at all.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'd much rather have Pierce and Godwin there.
Me too.
I don't. I got offered CD and Gibson for Pierce. Oh, okay. So he has Pierce and Godwin. Yeah. I just want the Pierce and Godwin side, whatever side of that you're on. I want Pierce and Godwin.
Everybody says it like this, but everybody
means something different.
Means it differently. So it's
right. Yeah, it's so confusing. So I want Pierce and Godwin side of that trade, whichever one that you fall on. Okay. Let's see. What is this? Do I take up another tight end? Right now I have Higbee and Waller. I was considering dropping Waller and taking someone else. I'm not dropping Waller. If anything,
Waller, ride Higbee.
Yeah, that's. Oof. Let's see.
Listen, Pratham, Waller had a down game tonight because he got injured early in the game. But up till today, up to this week, he has had a very, very healthy utilization in this offense. Routes run, target share, air yards, all of it. So you don't drop Waller. That wouldn't make any sense.
Just ride Higbee, man. I mean, he was 7 of 10 against Dallas this week. Like, that's pretty high targets, man. So stick in there. You'll be fine.
Okay, let's see. What is this? The sushi I found was the guy who gave me Kyler Murray for Stafford.
Yep. Another
guy gave me Brady for Mahomes. One bad week and they dropping QBs. I like how we've just made this like a thing now. Sushi, doing the sushi is now like a verb. It's an actual thing now. Like I found my sushi in doing this, right? So we've now made sushi one of our viewers that guy. And I'm really a horrible person for being so happy about it.
I would feel bad if it wasn't sushi and he didn't literally post Lockett every other message in all of our chats.
And notice I skipped all of his Lockett comments.
I did notice that, and I think it's hilarious, and that's why he keeps posting it too.
Derry Berry, what's up, man? Welcome in. Appreciate you dropping in here. Let's see. Was this something? Oh, okay. Jake from State Farm's in here. Holy crap, guys. We've hit a whole new level. Check mark.
Are you wearing khakis?
Oh, I hope so anyways. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. At running back, start 1, flex 1, half PPR. Okay. Jeff Wilson, Breece Hall, James Robinson. I feel like this is an easy answer now. I benched Breece for JR this week and luckily won. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you got – that's a sick feeling when you bench Breece Hall going off on your bench with James Robinson, who's supposed to have a huge game, not doing anything. What a sick feeling. So I'm glad you won that game, first of all. Start 1, flex 1. What are y'all looking at?
You're benching Wilson out of those 3. Every week.
Kyle's really good on his feelings there.
Dude, every week that they're all 3 active, you're starting Chubb, Hall, and J-Rob, period.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I forgot about Chubb there. Yeah. Yep, you right. You ain't wrong.
Chubb who?
He's got Chubb at RB1, and then he's got Breece Hall, James Robinson, Jeff Wilson on his bench. So he has to start another one of those last 3 and flex 1. I don't see how you can start Jeff Wilson over Hall or J-Rob.
I think I would start Jeff Wilson over J-Rob.
Against Atlanta? I think I am too.
Jeff Wilson is is kind of
I wasn't even looking at matchups. I'm just saying in general.
But have you been watching Jeff Wilson? I mean, the guy Shanahan wants to run the football, so he's not getting utilized in the passing game. But nobody pushes this guy. He is the clear-cut alpha running back in that offense. He's going to give you 20 to 25 touches every single week. What did he do last week? What did he? I don't have the stats in front of me. He did 22 for like 120 and a touchdown, 122 or something in a touchdown.
Hold on, I'll tell you. He did 17 touches for 120 yards and a touchdown, and then he had 1 reception for 12 yards.
Yeah.
So 17 rushes for 120 yards.
It's kind of like Jeff Wilson is kind of like a poor man's Nick Chubb. You know, he is just a volume running back, and you got to like him in this matchup.
And just so everyone knows, come December, Jeff Wilson will probably make an appearance on our network. So keep an eye out for that. Just throwing that out there. I was informed of that actually today. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So good time with that.
Would be fun.
Yeah.
And then you can show him all the clips of this show where I just said play those other guys over him.
There you go.
Well, they got Indianapolis. Jacksonville has Indianapolis this week, and Indianapolis is they're pretty tight against.
I don't know how anybody looks yet. That's tomorrow's show.
Week 2.
I was just saying in general, like if you're looking at those 3 guys or those 4 guys, like Wilson would be the one I would bench. But
he's asking.
You would know better than me on individual matchups. I haven't even looked at week 6 matchups yet.
Question though.
Then I would stop answering the question and let me and Corey take over.
Now, question though. Speaking of PaNiC and Jeff Wilson doing so good, what does that do for Elijah Mitchell? He's out.
Who knows?
You know, because Elijah Mitchell had injury issues last year too. I could see them splitting more.
Yeah, I think it hurts Elijah Mitchell. Pretty.
Wilson's no joke.
I could see a Monty Herbert situation brewing. I see a Monty Herbert situation brewing in San Francisco.
Yeah, this could get ugly for fantasy owners. So, Jeff Wilson ain't no joke, but you know who is, Kyle?
Your face?
No, Tyler Lockett. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Way to miss that cue, Kyle.
You're right.
Would you trade Gibson and Waddle for Kamara?
If you need a running back really bad, yeah. Meaning get Kamara if you need a running back.
Yeah, because at this point it's pretty much Waddle for Kamara, right? I mean,
Gibson is
pretty worthless.
Yeah.
But hey, he could return the ball this coming week. He could have a spot there returning the football.
That's true. It could be returning kicks, you know. Washington lets people score a lot, so it could be quite a few kicks.
True. Tony, what do you think about this trade?
I'd like to see the lineups, but I do think Waddle for Kamara is probably a very fair trade.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you need a running back and you're rich at the receiver position, then I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting fair value for Waddle, at least in that deal.
Yep. I feel the exact same way. All right. Hey, guys, I just did CMC and Jamal Williams for Josh Jacobs and James Robinson. Is that good, or should I get it vetoed?
Well, you shouldn't get it vetoed.
No, you just made a mistake is all. Don't get it vetoed because vetoes are dumb, but you did make a mistake.
Dude, veto.
I've made mistakes. It happens, but
I'd like to see. So again, it's very hard. I don't disagree with Kyle, but it's hard to answer that without seeing the roster. Like, you know, are CMC and Jamal your 2 starters? Because if you're flipping CMC and you're getting 2 starters and Josh Jacobs and James Robinson back, at least I get it. But Josh Jacobs, one of my favorite players in the league.
On the sell list last week, not for nothing.
On my sell list, yeah, selling high on Josh Jacobs. He had another monster game this week, so you shouldn't veto it. You did the trade, and you should stick with it. But
yeah, I'm panicking on veto leagues. I hate veto. It's so stupid.
100%.
I'm stuck in one where I did a trade with someone last week, and then it got vetoed, and I'm pissed off, and I'm not doing the league next year.
Only because it made your team so good.
It helped both of our teams, so everybody vetoed it. It was stupid.
The point is, it's not even for anybody to decide that.
Mm-hmm. I know, but
if I had done a trade in week 1 where I offered Dak Prescott for Jared Goff and we put it through, it would have gotten vetoed if people were trying to do it based on what they thought was fair.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you might see value in a player that somebody else doesn't see, and vice versa. So
value is subjective, and
100%.
and that is not a veto-worthy trade at all. At all.
Yeah. No.
So do not try to get that vetoed.
Neither was mine. That's why I hated it so much.
Kyle's still bitter.
Dude, it was literally the dumbest thing.
I got it.
Oh, I hate it. I hate him.
Do you think I can make this trade? Giving Murray receiving Debo. His QBs are Russell Wilson and Jared Goff. 1 QB league, or should I add Boyd to this trade too? I give.
Yeah, have him at Boyd.
Yeah, I would give Boyd too, and then get Goff or Wilson back. I mean, they'll be your.
Wait a second. He's giving. So Dark Wolf is giving Murray and getting Debo back.
He's giving Murray and Boyd.
Wait, who's your other quarterback?
He's giving Murray to get Debo. He's asking if he should add Boyd to get Debo. The other guys' QBs are Wilson and Goff.
Yeah, what I would do, Dark Wolf, is I would offer Boyd for Goff.
Who is your starting QB if you trade Murray?
Right, that's what I'm kind of thinking. You must have another pretty good quarterback then, if you're giving Murray. But I would try to get Goff back in there.
I'm so confused.
I would give.
Oh, he says his QB is Lamar, so he has Lamar. Trade Murray for Debo. Yeah, I'm with it.
So wait a sec. You have Lamar and Murray
in a 1 QB league. That means you drafted your backup way too freaking early.
That's weird, man. I don't know. It's no wonder you need Debo.
Get Goff back.
Yeah, do Murray and Boyd for Goff and Debo.
Absolutely. I would do that 100%. But it does kind of, if you get him in a good, I got Joe Burrow in the 9th round of a 12-team thing, and I was able to trade him for Waddle in week 2, right before Waddle just went off. And then I traded Waddle off right before these last 2 games. It's been a magnificent season. Let's see. I just got offered Mark Andrews and Pickens for Kittle and Amon-Ra.
And this is funny to me because, several messages later, Albert tells @HarryWolf to keep Mark Andrews with a crying, laughing emoji. Oh, Dark Wolf says, by the way, someone dropped Murray for Geno last week, so he picked him up to trade for a receiver.
Why am I not in leagues like this? How do I find leagues like this?
Wow, you sushi'd him.
You sushi.
Yes.
Got him.
Professor with the comedy. I love it.
Who knew? Who knew the professor had some comedy up his sleeve there? Man.
Yeah, I do it all.
He's not one trick pony. So let's see. He says, sorry, everyone wants Mark Andrews. Well, they can want all they want. I mean,
yeah, don't trade for Kittle.
I would trade for Kelsey.
The one with Goddard earlier made the most sense. But
I would still
iffy.
I will say Amon-Ra is nice, though.
It is. But we've seen his floor now, too, right?
What was that you always said about not trading for injured players?
What's that?
What was that you always said about not trading for injured players? He's still bunged up.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he's going to be, he came back, and I think he's got the bye week. He'll be fine going into week 7, but I hear you.
It's tough. Okay, let's see. I want to put Naji in a package deal with D-Hop and Etienne. Who do you think I could get?
What do you need, Panda?
These open-ended questions. It's so hard to answer.
So hard.
Ask, what type of running back could I get back, or what type of receiver could I get back?
Look at people performing better than those guys and try to go get them. That's the best way I know how to answer all of these open-ended type questions like that.
Yeah, the thing with something like this is, like we talked about earlier with Naji, right? People have lost running backs Someone has lost Javonte Williams. Someone has lost Rashad Penny. Like, there are significant running back injuries, and you could target those people with a package deal of Najee and Etienne.
He says
And
he needs a receiver.
So you can go in there with Najee, Etienne, and D-Hop and probably get a stud. I traded a similar type package and got Cooper Kupp because D-Hop was in the deal and stuff. I mean, yeah.
Well, we just were talking about Amon-Ra, getting Amon-Ra type guy if you can get him. I know that might be difficult to pull it off, but going into the bye week, you might be able to flip him, and then you got him rest of season.
It says he has Mixon and Walker at running back, but he wants a receiver. So, yeah, Amon-Ra. I mean, we mentioned Waddle earlier as a good target.
So
Debo Samuel.
Here's my problem with Amon-Ra. I mean, when you're giving up Najee and Etienne in that, though, you're having to wait to get Amon-Ra back because that bye week and everything. By then, D-Hop's back. So like D-Hop and to Amon-Ra, is it that big of a jump that you're giving up Etienne and Najee in that deal too? Like that
I think
big?
So, yeah. I think so.
Depends on what you get back with that too. You can get Amon-Ra and probably another lesser running back too. I guess you're probably not doing a 3-for-1 deal, but you think
I wouldn't give all three, but D-Hop and Najee I'd give for Amon-Ra, sure.
Now that I would do.
Do we know what to expect with D-Hop when he comes back? Now, he's a buy low candidate for me. He was on Wall Street. He's been on Wall Street the past 3 weeks as a buy low. But going back to last year, what exactly are we going to be able to expect from D-Hop when he returns?
I'm sure he's still got something running through his veins to help him. Come on now.
Still got some of those performance-enhancing drugs in his system, maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're just assuming, right? So we're assuming that he'll come back after sitting out this time and still have that chemistry with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I don't know. You might even try to sell high on ETN and do ETN and D-Hop and just hang on to Najee for now. If Mixon and Kenneth Walker are your only other running backs.
Because and I don't necessarily agree with that or disagree with that because ETN is obviously splitting time. Najee is obviously just the workhorse. Are really hard to find is those workhorse. So he's going to get those chances, opportunities, and who knows, maybe later on he does end up doing something, or he at least holds a little bit more trade value because of name alone. I don't know. I would try maybe a D-Hop ETN for an Amon-Ra or something. I think that's a good idea. Okay, let's see. I'm officially part of the Kelsey fan club. Took you this long? Man.
Been a fan of Kelsey for years.
Yeah, I've had to get 2 replacement cards because mine just wear out every year.
I hardly ever end up getting him on my fantasy team somehow, but I love watching the guy play. Dude's a monster. He's just an animal.
Here's one from Sushi. Would you do Naji Harris, Gabe Davis, and Herbert for Russ and Jamar and Akers? So pretty much for Jamar.
I would for Jamar. Harris, Davis, and Herbert for Jamar. I'm okay with that.
Tony, what do you think?
I mean, Russ and
Akers are worthless, so it's
they're kind of just throw-ins at this point. I don't know that you're getting full value there. I don't know that I would do that. Harris and Gabe Davis for Jamar.
I mean, and do you see Herbert probably has more value than Akers at this point?
Yeah, definitely paying a price for Jamar. So, what is Sushi's running back situation once he moves Najee?
I don't remember.
It's
and
not
with
like
his receiver situation.
and Jamar Chase is not having an outstanding season by any means.
Yeah, it's a good time to buy on Chase, though. I get it. Jamar Chase is still an elite receiver, but
I think you can get him for cheaper than maybe that elite price right now.
Oh,
Too.
Sushi says he has Jamar, so he's one of those that did it backwards and tricked us, like we were saying earlier. God, people. Can we agree on a universal way to state these things? Say which side you give and which you get.
Every time we could just answer which side we prefer. So, and that would make that easy too.
I wouldn't trade away Jamar for that. No.
Yeah. I'd
rather have the Jamar side.
I'm a little torn on it.
What do you need, Sushi?
Yeah. Well, he probably has Lockett, so he probably needs a wide receiver.
He needs to stop watching so much Tyler Lockett. That's what he needs to do.
It sounds like he needs a running back.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Naji Harris ain't the one, though, to trade Jamar. If you need a running back, he says he needs running back. Yeah, you can do better at running back than Naji and Herbert.
Yeah.
If you need a running back, aim higher, bro.
Okay, let's move this really quick. Ken Walker, Swift, rest of season.
Still Swift for me. He'll be back after the bye.
I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to say Ken Walker.
I am too, just because he's not really going to he's going to be obviously their running back, right? And Swift is still getting vultured by Jamal Williams. And so I think I'm taking Ken Walker there, which is insane to say. Never thought I would say
it. It is insane. You're both insane.
But I'm spending lots of fab on Kenneth Walker. I'm spending so much.
I think I've got one league that he's even available in.
I think I've got one, but it's the one that I have Swift in. And so I'm going after Kenneth Walker.
If he's a fab guy, if you're desperate at running back and you need a starting running back, he's a 100% type bid. I think
dump the whole pot.
You need to get a guy. This is a guy who's going to come onto your roster as an RB1. Here's my issue with Swift. I have a couple of issues with Swift, Kyle, and Julian. Number one, he cannot stay healthy. It goes back to last year. That shoulder issue. He got knocked out of the Thanksgiving Day game and then missed pretty much the rest of the season. He cannot stay healthy. I think they're going to put him more on a pitch count when he comes back. Jamal Williams has really taken on a kind of a real identity for that running game, and he has done a very, very good job running the football for Detroit. Even before the injury, Williams was getting all the carries inside the 5. He was getting the goal line looks. He was getting those carries as they got close to the end zone, to the goal line. And so for Swift to score, he's got to do it from outside the 10, outside the 20. I'm not as excited about Swift. Kenneth Walker, on the other hand, he is going to dominate the touches in that backfield. So, it's crazy to say it, but I think if I have to pick one guy, I'm taking Walker.
Yep, I think so. Okay, guys, we have hit an hour and a half, and we have a ton of messages to get through, so we are going to quickly run through as many of these as we can. If it's an open-ended question, it's going to take a long time. Sorry. Probably just gonna pass over. You'll have to hit us up on Instagram, or we have a show tomorrow night. We have FF Interactive with me and Kyle, and then we have Fantasy Wall Street on Wednesday with Kyle and Tony. So Philly Editor says,
hold on. I was going to ask you before you got started. Should we quick get through the rest of the board, then hit the questions?
No, I'm just going to hit the questions.
We're skipping the whole premise of the show? Okay.
Yeah, for the people. Okay, who are you guys' best buy low, sell highs for right now? Do I sell DK and Pittman? For the first part of that, I'm going to say Fantasy Wall Street on Wednesday will answer a lot of those questions from Tony there. Do I sell DK and Pittman is the question right now. Tony, what do you think about DK and Pittman?
I'm not selling either one of them. You're not selling Pittman because you're not really selling high on Pittman. Maybe selling a little bit high on DK, but I said this last week. In Wall Street, I was back on the DK train. I'm buying DK right now, not selling DK. He isn't going
Same.
anywhere in this offense.
Yeah, don't sell either one. And as far as buy lows, we've mentioned a couple times tonight, Waddle and Debo are great ones.
Yep. D. Pierce worth trading for? Is he an RB1 type of player? Hey, good job on 4-1, baby. What do you guys think on D. Pierce?
If you need a running back and you can get him for a reasonable price, he's good. He's not an RB1, but he's definitely climbing the RB2 ranks.
Cool. Brady versus Pittsburgh or Mahomes versus the Bills? Who should he start?
Brady.
Tony?
Yeah, but Brady for me.
Brady against Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh sucks and Bills' defense is great. Let's see. What is this one here? Oh, this is a trade question. Let's see. Hill, Pierce, Goddard offering me for Jonathan Taylor and Drake London. Pierce, Goddard, and Hill for Jonathan Taylor and Drake London.
Who's your tight end?
Patterson, RC, Debo, Godwin. Yeah, let us know because you're getting Goddard there. So,
if I remember right, he's got like Schultz or Higbee, I think.
Yeah, sounds. Let's see. Noah, hit us up tomorrow night or hit us up on Instagram. Okay, thoughts on Jamar, Brian Robinson, and Jeff Wilson for JT and Lockett?
So, what side is he on?
Doesn't matter. Just pick which side you would prefer on that.
Give me JT and Lockett.
Yeah.
I think JT and Lockett for me too. I'm trading for Lockett. Of course he'd say that.
Of course he is.
Anton, same thing. Hit us up tomorrow night or on Instagram there, and we'll help you out on yours. Yes, again, Albert. Yes, good job. Is Kamara a sell high? We've gotten this question a lot on IG stuff too, and I would say no as well. Can I send Damian Pierce and Deontay for Jamar Chase? I think that depends
if
on
you need a receiver. Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
Yeah, I would do that too if you need a receiver.
Let's see. Who do you love? Who do you have for the rest of the season, Pierce or Hall?
Hall.
Hall for
and
me.
I love Pierce, but give me Hall for the rest of the season.
Hall is looking. Jeff Wilson or Kenneth Walker to pick up?
Kenneth Walker.
Yep. Because he's a rest of season the guy, where Jeff Wilson come back and have to split time, even if he's splitting time.
So rental until Elijah Mitchell's back.
Yep. Traded away Saquon and Hurts for CMC and Hill. Oh, we did this one earlier. Oh, did it double up? No.
I think maybe we didn't get to it yet, and he thought we missed it.
Maybe. Also, how do you feel about packaging? Or he left and missed it. I don't know. How do you feel about packaging Mixon and someone else for Jonathan Taylor? Have Pollard, Judy, Lazard, sweeten the deal.
I'd try Mixon with one of those receivers and try it. It's worth a shot.
Yeah. Let's see. That's that. Where do you see B-Rob finishing at the end of the season? Should I trade him for Melvin? B-Rob or Melvin Gordon?
I think Melvin will have more value the rest of this year. I don't know. I don't think B-Rob finishes in the top 25 because there's three people going to be splitting that backfield now.
Yeah,
I'm not excited about it.
I don't think they're going to just hand it over to the rookie.
Not 100%.
No. How do you feel about Chuba Hubbard if CMC gets traded? He could be a plug-in flex option. I don't think
you want Donta Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman would be the guy there for sure. But
Well, it'll be interesting if CMC gets traded. If
what they get back?
So if they get Singletary or Moss or something. Yeah,
they got back Singletary or something like that.
Yeah, they would probably get something back. Would be my guess.
Yeah,
in that deal. Let's see. Would you rather have Eckler, Mixon, Mike Williams, Lockett, and Njoku, then Aaron Jones at the flex, or Eckler, Aaron Jones, Mike? Oh my god!
I don't
Just
think any of us have enough brain
Harry, in the
left
future.
to comprehend this right now.
Hey, Harry, in the future, just swap out the players that you're not. Like, you don't have to have Eckler on both sides. You don't have to have Mike Williams on both sides.
He has Eckler on both sides. It's
I'm
just
saying you don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Remove Eckler and Mike Williams. Is it like Mixon and Lockett or Aaron Jones and Mark Andrews like that? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, just give us the guys who are different.
We just got two hypothetical rosters there.
I can't follow.
Also, panic on Aaron Jones at all?
No, Aaron Jones is sell high. Next time he has a blow-up game, sell him.
But
This
not
is Aaron
panic.
Jones. Aaron Jones is a boomer bust running back. He's going to give you either 30 points or 8.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Just reading there what Daniel said. So read that, Harry.
No, that's fine. Just be careful, Daniel, Dylan, because Dylan, I think we're gonna begin to see more and more of Dylan as the season wears on.
Yep.
Especially we get into these cold weather months and they want to run the football, just like last year.
Kenneth Walker third for AJ Brown.
Oh, that's steep. You're giving Kenneth Walker for AJ?
Sounds like it. Kenneth Walker in a third for AJ Brown.
Is it Dynasty?
Sounds like it.
It must be Dynasty, surely.
Oh man, I'm all over AJ Brown.
Yeah, give me AJ Brown and Dynasty.
Let's see.
And how could you not trade for him with AJB as your name?
Right. You
For
have
real.
to have him. You have to have him.
Maybe
And
he
you're-
already has him, and he's wondering
Is
if
he
he
a
should
Philly guy?
accept
Is
it.
AJ a Philly guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a Philadelphia.
Oh, so he's just looking for someone to make sure he's not being. No, you're not being crazy. AJ,
Yeah,
You're not
he's
being a
in-
homer if you take that.
top
My-
3 dynasty receiver.
Maybe
You
he's
got it.
already got AJ Brown. He's just making sure he shouldn't accept Walker in a third
No
point.
doubt.
No, don't accept. No,
No, he's
But
got
I would-
AJ. He's getting AJ.
Yeah,
get AJ.
keep
Get AJ.
Get AJ.
Would you trade Jay Jettas and Joe Mixon for Saquon and Nick Chubb?
Oof.
You'd have to be really deep at receive. Like you'd have to have enough receivers to
That's
cover for
nice.
that.
So, man,
So-
that's Saquon and Chubb.
Dude, Saquon and Chubb.
That's
Surely you can cover receivers if you're thinking of giving up Jettas for 2 running backs. So
well, and Mixon.
yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, I would probably do that if I needed running backs.
That's tough.
I think that value-wise, you're not off the mark.
Yeah.
Value wise, it's very fair. So it depends on your roster needs. Yeah.
Dang chat popping. Yeah, in 347 is Harry Wolf trying to figure out this one damn trade with Mark Andrews. ASAP, Damian Pierce for Naji. I want Damian Pierce.
I want Damian Pierce.
Yeah, I want Pierce over Naji.
All right, let's see. We're the goats. That's what he says. That's
You posted it again. Here he goes. Mixon and Will Lockett.
I can't do it. No.
Who's Jones?
Dude,
That's
send
fine.
it to
I
send
can't
it to
do
us
it.
on Instagram. Send it on
can't do it.
Instagram because we don't have time for that right now.
I can't do it.
Sorry,
Chris says he has AJ Brown Hopkins coming back. Yeah, that's love that.
Wait, who's Jones? It says Njoku and Jones.
Aaron Jones.
But then he's got Jones again.
He said Aaron Jones earlier in one
He
of
said,
the.
and Jones or Jones. Dude, that's what I'm saying. He's drunk. Go home. Dude, we can't refresh the stream just to check out your new name. Oh, Sushi Lover, Locket Lover. Jesus.
Oh my god, bro.
That's hilarious. All right, with that being said, that's the end of the chat, and we are getting off of
Sushi.
here.
Sushi or something else, buddy.
Yeah,
Harry,
I love it.
hit us up on Instagram chat, bro. I'll answer you back.
No doubt. There was
Let me just say before we dump, because he's going to hit you up. I just want to throw out there, Andrews is the best player on your roster. If you're going to trade him, it's got to make sense for you on the season. And I know Kyle's going to watch your back because Kyle's all over Andrews as well.
Yep.
We're just
Poncho says, should he do that trade, the Barkley and Chubb for Jay Jettas and Mixon? And we said it depends on your team needs. If you need running backs more than receivers, yes, do it. He says he has AJ Brown and Hopkins coming back. So yeah, I mean, get Barkley and Chubb. I would do that then.
I'd want to see the full roster, but I do think you do kill it by getting Barkley and Chubb.
Yeah.
I do think it's fair.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to end it on this one. I'm going to show a little love for Sushi Lover, Lockett Lover, Tyler Lockett, nailed my super smashes, Raheem Mustard. Listen, there you go, man. There's you some love for the night, Sushi. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night for FF Interactive. Join me and Kyle. We'll see you then.